Colors of Politics, NRI, on RI Free Radio. Just as the rainbow has many colors, there are multiple opinions and views of the way our state government should be run. Let us be to the point and deliver the truth. It is time to break down the colors of politics.
Hello and welcome to Colors of Politics, NRI, on RI Free Radio, where we can be found on Facebook and Twitter at symbol Colors of RI. And we are going to touch upon a couple of different miscellaneous topics, but hopefully we can get this podcast out to you guys fast enough to realize that tomorrow, January 31st, at the State House, is a bill will be heard in front of the Judiciary Committee in room 101 in regards to gun rules and rights, and basically it fogs some of the lines of the law, and right now it's very well defined as to what is punishable and where that line needs to be drawn for your self-defense and for different things like that, and this terminology of this bill, from the way that it's been explained to me, fogs up those lines and makes things so they're not so clear-cut and defined. And when it comes to the gun world and the gun rights and the legalities, the last thing that any of us need is to be clouding up the rules so that they can be interpreted and twisted, and people of power, police, or judges, or anybody in the court system choosing to interpret them to whatever their personal beliefs are, because the law won't be so well defined anymore. So I actually have not read every line of the bill, so unfortunately I cannot give you a full synopsis on my personal opinion. But I do want all of the ones that are adamant out there. I know whether it's about guns or anything, I personally want to make sure that more of our rights are not taken away or clouded upon, making it so that they are easily manipulated in the future. So I would be against anything that does that for any kind of regulation, or simply just removing the regulation altogether, not in regards to guns, but in some other things, is the better way to go, in my opinion. So I want to make sure that everybody out there is aware of that for the 31st at the State House in front of the Judiciary Committee on the House side. And Representative Knight is one of the ones on the bill, and there's like 5 of them. That's the only name I remember off the top of my head, but ones that are usually the co-signers on the not-so-friendly bills in regards to the guns. So it's the usual culprits up there making things so that guns are more restricted or more difficult to own, or it's always a different tax. And another bill to be aware of, and the hearing is not scheduled for, but something that's been of topic in Rhode Island now for just under 2 years, the HPV vaccine mandate. And the Senate side introduced Senate Bill 47, which is to remove the HPV vaccine from a required vaccination for any grade of public school or for college entry in the state of Rhode Island. And it has Lou Raptakis and Elaine Morgan have co-signed on that bill. Both of them also worked on legislation in the Senate last year in regards to the same topic, and so the bill has been brought back and introduced again this year in 2017. So very grateful for both of them continuing to move forward and following through work to stop this and make it so that it's a parent's choice and private choice and have nothing to do with the school system whatsoever. So again, that's Senate Bill 47, and that does not have a hearing yet, but it is out there that you can look it up and read the text for it. And we will be having Elaine Morgan on our show soon, as soon as we can get a scheduled time that works for her and for us. Also, we will be interviewing next with Adam Kokesh, and he has the book out, Freedom, which you can get some copies of from us in the Colors of Politics with the RI Free Radio studio. We have some copies of the book for free, so you can contact us to get a copy of the book. You can also get a digital copy of his book. And he did not write every word in the book. He put it together, and he will be talking more about that and the details when we interview him in the next week. And so just to let you know, that will be coming, but in the meantime, we do already have some copies of the book here in the studio. And so anybody else checking out their social media news feeds and the negativity blowing up from every direction, everybody really isn't sure what to make of anything that is happening right now, and the media is having a field day with making sure that everything sounds so horribly negative, even if it might only be a little bit negative or kind of neutral. The media is definitely playing into the hysteria, which therefore adds to the hysteria, which therefore makes more of it, and then the media feeding more into that. So it's definitely a vicious cycle that is happening, and that's the one thing about social media is keeping that cycle going with everybody having the instant access to the internet and all information and all their friends and family's thoughts and outlooks and constant contact that we didn't used to have so much of. So it's definitely pushing that whole mantra forward. So it's something to try to keep sharing positivity, keep sharing positive outlooks, try to keep finding the good in everything, because right now the hatred and the negativity is just building and building and building. And negativity breeds negativity. It really does, no matter what the topic is. So it's really hard, especially in politics right now, to have a lot of good things to say. So that's why it was nice to be able to tell you about the bill that Raptakis and Elaine Morgan just put in, because that helps with protecting parental rights. There's also a bill out there about the dual enrollment for homeschoolers. That bill number I do not have offhand, but it is out there, where Justin Price is one of the co-signers on that bill. And right now, it might actually be all public school seniors can do a dual enrollment where they can go to CCRI or URI, and they can take some college courses, get college credit for those courses, but also get high school credit towards their high school diploma at the same time, and they call it dual enrollment. And it's not available for homeschoolers right now. So there's a bill introduced so that homeschoolers can do the same thing. They can get credit towards their homeschool senior year, and they can also earn college credits towards their college freshman year at the same time. and do dual enrollment. So there's a bill out there to allow that and make that possible. And I wish I knew the bill number so that you could look it up, but I do know that Justin Price is on the bill, and since we're so early in the legislative session, if you look at all the bills that he is co-signed on, I'm sure there cannot be too many of them to be sifting through this early in the session. So hopefully that helps you be able to find it to look at it. We have good things with those two bills happening, so hopefully as the legislative session continues, we'll have more good things happening. I know that Gina Raimondo and her 2 years of free college is just not really making sense, but that to me is because I feel like she's removing more important things from other portions of the budget, like our K through 12. There is multiple different things that could do better with the K through 12, and without necessarily giving them more money, but definitely not necessarily removing the money. And by reducing money going to districts in pretty significant dollar amounts, and then saying that, oh yes, 2 years of free college, well, you're not really getting it free if you're going to end up paying a bunch more in your taxes towards the school system that you're living in the district of. And that's an ongoing, never-ending, once it's raised, they don't go back down. So I think in the long run, depending on how long you live in a location and how much the increase is in your district, it might actually cost you more to have those taxes increased and consistently increased due to getting less funding from the state and the state putting it towards 2 years of free tuition instead. That could cost you more in the long run than if you had paid for those 2 years of free tuition or partially paid for them if your child qualified for a grant or something. So, again, there's both sides of the coin with the politics, like usual in the state of Rhode Island. And then we have Gina Raimondo and Mayor Alzora, or however you say his name, since I'm so famous for murdering last names, saying that we're going to be a sanctuary state and we're going to not follow Trump's orders, or we're just not going to follow orders that require removing these people. I'm not sure where I stand with if they should be removed or not removed, but I don't stand with Providence thinking that they should house people when Providence currently is not afloat, and the only reason why they are surviving is because of state aid, and that state aid is coming from also other districts and everybody else's taxes and everybody else paying into it. So it's a city that is money-wise managed horribly, and in addition to it wants to house and protect people that it cannot afford to maintain its own people. And that is where I don't understand, like, how can you stand on the grounds of protecting people that are not documented, that have not vetted through the process, in a city that cannot afford to take care of the people that are legal green card holders or legal born U.S. citizens. If you're not properly being able to financially maintain your city with the people that are there because they did the regimen of what it takes to properly and legally be there, how can you house and support those that cannot. Now, I understand the humanity side of helping others, not purposely displacing people, not purposely sending people back to negative places possibly, or bad situations, or scary moments in other countries. I'm not really sure what words to fill in there. Like, I understand the humanity side of it, but you have to do it in ways and places and circumstances where you can. And if you cannot afford to properly take care of those that are there, how in the world can you say we're going to not move these people? We're not, like, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be actual work done. Some kind of a nonprofit stepping up to raise money to help the whole city of Providence. Because I also think it's wrong to raise money just to support people that have not gone through the process of being documented, because if they've been through the process of being documented, then they're already properly in the system of that everybody else is in, to be able to participate in things. And we already have lots of systems that they can sign up for and that they can be a part of without even paying into the system. So we are all paying into this system, and some of the people that are receiving from the system have never at all in any way paid into it. Now, don't get me wrong, we have U.S. citizens born and raised that have never paid into that system, but also take certain things off the system. So the system itself is so wrong. We need to be not the government taking it from people and allotting it to where it goes, because a lot of people would generously give to different things, but many people feel, I already have all of these taxes taken out, all this money taken out, I don't have the means to donate more, to do more. But they would maybe choose one program and not this other program. But somebody else would choose the other program and not this program. We should have very, very little taxes, if any, and we should just have programs where we donate, because we would. There is way more people that care about each other than there are people complaining about people using the system. So we have people donating towards the food bank, donating towards, and don't get me wrong, some people do now as it is, even with taxes. But if people knew that the government wasn't going to supply the food bank food, that the government wasn't going to supply the housing and safety, wasn't going to help with clothing for children that don't have any, they would donate, they would help. Now, there's lots of people that do because they have the money to pay their taxes and to help with all these things too, but people are naturally going to help each other, especially if they know that the only way that those people are gonna be helped is if they help each other. And I feel like at this point there needs to be somebody stepping up and doing something to say, Providence isn't making it. We need to help each other make it. You need a new mayor by the sounds of things. Like, I don't live in the city and I don't regularly participate in different things in the city, so I have very little personal experience of what I can say in regards to it. But I feel like you need a new mayor. Oh my goodness. Every time I turn around, he's in the news for doing something that does not seem like it's actually benefiting the citizens. Now again, the media twisting things, making things this and making things that. So what the full details are, I have not looked into everything he's ever done, but I know he's not always doing the greatest things. But I'm sure things are definitely outlined to make it look like he's doing things much worse than he actually is. Because negative and bad publicity sells better than positive. Negative is shared more than positive. Twisting anything, even if it's good, to make it seem bad, is going to go farther. And you guys are in control of that. You guys, the listeners, like the social media posts, share the positive stuff, comment and like on the positive stuff. Try to scroll past the negative stuff. Because the media and even the Facebook and the algorithms and everything is based on what the public is actually doing. So, if you guys work to make the positive be the main, what is driven in the media and what is driven towards the news and the headlines will change. But as long as the negativity is still the main focus, then the negativity is what's going to continue to sell, and that's what they're going to continue to put as their highlight and their articles. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of your own comments and what you decide to reshare and what you decide to interact with, because the Facebook algorithms are going to pick up on the negativity. They're going to pick up on the stuff that you are interacting with, and it's going to show you more. So if you're interacting with negative and mostly only negative for like 2 solid weeks, then guess what? Suddenly your news feed's going to be full of that much more negativity, because that's what you're doing. So you control it. Be mindful of it. Share with each other. Be positive of each other. For instance, another positive thing, it's not available in southern Rhode Island. I don't think it's available in northern Rhode Island either. But Dolly Parton has a book club, has a thing where she will send a book to every child once a month, a new book, as long as the child is under 5 years old. And that's a positive thing. It's been going, it's called the Imagination Library, and it's been going on for years now. Something like 80 million books have already been mailed to children. So, you want to make a difference in Rhode Island? Go on the Imagination Library website and sign up if you've got the extra funding, and mind you, I doubt it would need to be a lot of funding for you to start it, and then you can, be nonprofit, collect donations, but you can start it to actually happen in Rhode Island so these kids can get these books. But the area's Dolly Parton Foundation doesn't just do it everywhere no matter what. There has to be a partnership with an affiliate in the general area that's willing to partner funding and help get these books to the children. And there isn't one for the area of Rhode Island. So there's a positive way. You can make that difference. You can be an affiliate member, and you can help get books, 1 book a month, to a child under 5 years old in Rhode Island, if you help get that to happen. But it's not available here, but it's available in many other places across the country and in Canada. There is lots of good humanity out there, guys, and we need to keep sharing it, and we need to keep finding it. In the midst of all the negativity surrounding us, we need to keep the positive happening and keep the positive sharing. For those of you out there, you're listening to Colors of Politics on RI Free Radio. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter @ Colors of RI. This episode is brought to you by Rhode Island doTERRA. Essential oils, healthy supplements, and more. tinyurl.com, RIDOTERRA, tinyurl.com/RI doTERRA. So thank you for listening in with us, and again, you can find us Facebook and Twitter @ Colors of RI. I'd love to know your thoughts and what you guys are seeing lately for positive. Let's share some positive. I want to see it. Tweet it to us, or, Facebook comment on the page. Share it onto the page, whatever it is. Let's go. Positive, guys. Positive. This negativity is so overwhelming right now. We are in control of this. Let's keep the positive going. I also want to hear from you. If there's a bill out there that's recently been introduced, you want it highlighted, or maybe you would like the sponsor of the bill to be interviewed and ask some questions. I am consistently scrolling and looking at things, but feel free to bring something to my attention for me to realize what's going on beyond what I see. Always can welcome comments, suggestions, and heads up to what's going on and where it's going on. For instance, the new railway going through Rhode Island, it's actually all the way from Boston to New Jersey, that they want to make changes. The Rhode Island section for Charlestown and Richmond, many of you might not realize that a section that they want to put the railroad through is where an old nuclear power plant used to be. And what they want to do is they're going to have to do to put the railroad there is dig it up. Well, there's an awful lot of stuff under there in regards to the old nuclear power plant. It was buried and marked to never be touched, to never expose that stuff again. And if this was approved, that stuff will be exposed. It will be going through. It's only approximately 2.5 miles away from the Charahoe High School and the Charahoe Middle School. That is huge. I mean, there's also the Charlestown Elementary School itself. There's so much as far as school systems and children, and never mind the houses and the farms and the animals all around that area. This plan wants to move things to make it more streamlined, and the whole move from Boston to New Jersey saves approximately 45 minutes. The Charlestown-Richmond area saves approximately 5 minutes. So we're talking about a total upheaval of an entire area in southern Rhode Island for an approximate 5-minute increase in travel time, and the whole time from Boston to New Jersey is a 45-minute travel increase. So talk to your senator, your representative, wherever you are. Tell them that you don't understand the logic behind this. Specifically, contact your state senators that represent you for U.S. Congress, Jack Reed and Sheldon Whitehouse, and tell them how much you do not agree with them supporting this. If they should support it, they should change their mind to not supporting it. Last I knew, Jack Reed did support it, but I am not sure if he has changed his stance. And that is what this change is coming from the federal level, and this is what they want to do. So Governor Raimondo has recently said that she also opposes this change. And so that's a positive thing. There's not very much positive coming from Gina Raimondo. So that's a good one. That's a really good one. She supports going against this railway change. So thank you so much for listening to us tonight.